day, God-fearing generation. Welcome, we're together again. Greetings to our senior pastor, Pastor Joely, and Pastor Strike, our general overseer, as well as the fellow GFG leaders. Thank you very much, God-fearing generation. You've been sharing with your friends. We have seen the viewership growing every day. Thank you very much. Once again, we're still having our Professor Hasani Chauke. He's coming to be continuing on the topic, being a student during COVID-19. I trust that last week you were empowered. You will be empowered again this week to be able to continue with your studies. Having the pandemic does not mean that we must abandon our responsibilities and our visions, but through it all, as long as you know who you are, that you are a God-fearing generation, you know that all things are possible through Christ Jesus. Welcome, Professor Hasani Chauke. We're waiting in anticipation. We know that we shall never remain the same. Thank you very much. Let's have Professor Hasani Chauke taking us through how to be a good student during the COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in once again. This is Mana TV. You have joined the conversation with Prof. Hasani Chauke, the resident contributor of MTW. On the topic, being a student during COVID-19 lockdown, part 2. I greet all of you, all viewers of Mana TV, and I want to thank you for joining to this special platform today. And a special thanks to my pastor, Pastor Joely, the senior pastor, and Pastor Strike, the overseer of Mana Tabernacle of Witness. Thank you once more for giving me this opportunity to participate in this platform. Once more, Manu Roland Baloi, the leader for our GFG, I thank you for giving me yet another slot to come and share with your students and learners. Of course, today we continue in our discussions. We continue to engage and encourage all our learners and our students on the issues of education. But allow me today to just recap a little bit. I want us to look at the status of the current situation, or the state of readiness in our schools. I will want to reflect on the issues as announced by our Ministry of Education, and also we'll look at the state of our schools, TVET, and universities, all the institutions. Let's look at their current status and the mode of technology. And also, I would like to talk a little bit to our parents in terms of what kind of support they can give to our learners. Of course, we cannot run away from the situation that has befell us, the COVID-19 lockdown. It is still here with us, and we know that while the country is still under siege, we know there are researchers, government, many stakeholders who are actually busy, in trying to bring us to speed in terms of, issues of education. Well, unfortunately, the COVID-19 is more of a scientific problem than a political battleground. I hope you will agree with me there. We need so much advice from our scientists today. We need so much knowledge from all those who have the know-how, so that we are able to stop the spread of the virus, and also to develop vaccines or drugs that can help us to control the disease. It is this time that unity and tolerance of one another should take a center stage. Recently, we had addresses by Ministry of Education, both Minister of Basic and Higher Education. Mayor Angie Mutseka has spoken and outlined the plans of how our schools are going to resume. But we know today that not everyone will be going to school, only the grade 7 and grade 12. Of course, again, the Minister of Higher Education, Honorable Blade Zimande, has indicated that only up to 33% of students will go back, and preference given to final students. Of course, there will be gradual return of students on campus. Why I'm recapping on this, I want to indicate to you that this is a very difficult moment that we are facing, and also that we should take cognizance that the ministry is also doing their best to come with strategies that can actually help us to resume our normal school happy days. Of course, despite this address and all the plans that have been set, there are still a lot of questions that are being asked. South Africans have questions. Unions have questions. Political parties also have questions. Of course, our parents have concerns. So surely, the decisions that are taken are not easy decisions, because in it all, it involves our lives. It involves the future of the country, the future of South Africans. Well, let us follow the comforter for direction in these difficult times. I want to quote from Romans 13 verse 1. It reads, "Everyone must submit to the government authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist are instituted by God." My dear students, I know if I were in your shoes or in your position today, surely you are in a difficult position. Your situations are characterized by anxiety, panic, and uncertainty. Most of you, I know you are tired to be at home. You miss your friends, you miss going to library, you miss writing tests, and you miss playing. And you miss so much of the activities, including sports. But I want to take this moment to encourage you that there is a high possibility that we'll resume schools, but under very strict conditions, under risk-adjusted strategy of the national lockdown, until such time that the coronavirus is under control. So now, we should accept that the programs of 2020 will not be the same as the programs of previous years because of the challenges we have. As such, let's take heed and take courage while we are at home to know what needs to be done. I want to just reiterate from what I said earlier in our first session that the COVID-19 has affected almost actually everything, and all of us were affected. And it has affected also our little ones from all grades, from the preschools, grade 00, throughout to grade 12. We are all affected. I know that the great and the little ones, they really miss each other, because some of them, they just wore uniform for the first time this year in 2020. Some of them, they just made new friends, and at this moment they cannot interact with them because of the situation that is here with us. Well, it is this time that we stay at home. It is this time that we look up to our parents, or depend on our parents for every single day. I want to believe that the little ones, you are not trouble at home. I want to believe that you don't give your parents hard time. But there are, of course, benefits of staying at home. I know that some of you had, for the first time, an opportunity to get to know your parents. And likewise, parents, it is our opportunity to know our children. I want to touch a little bit on grade 7 and grade 12, who are actually going back to school. These are very critical classes of our educational system, but it doesn't mean that the other grades are not or are of less important. All grades are equally important. To get to grade 7, you have to go through the other grades lower than grade 7. And to get to grade 12 again, you need to go through all the other grades lower than grade 12. So what I'm saying here is that all grades are equally important. So those who are not going back to school, please don't feel left behind. But be encouraged, and when you are at home, we'll be looking at how you can make yourself effective. Those who have entered grade 12, I know you entered grade 12 in 2020 with vigor, having a lot of courage. You had dreams, you had plans to work 24/7. You saw yourself already in different institutions in the year 2021. I want to encourage you. You must know that not all is lost, and those dreams that you had should not die. Keep it alive and keep working at your different homes. Well, I know that you will agree with me that not all the schools are at the same level. Some schools have online teaching already, and some do not have. Primarily depend on the location, the availability of resources. Some can access lessons through TV, and some through the radios. And some can't at all. But please do not feel left out if you can't access anything. There will be a solution for all of us as we go back to school. I want to encourage you to learn at home, to use any form that you can come across when you are at home. Especially and more importantly, learn how to write, learn how to read, and learn through practicing of some mathematics. I know all of us, we do maths. Either it is pure maths or literacy. I want to encourage you to have and solve problems that really, because it will help you to keep your mind very, very, very active. And it is during this time that when you are stuck with any problem that you are encountering, you can depend on your brothers, your sisters, and those who are above you in terms of grades. It is very, very critical. I know that writing is not easy, but remember, if you can't write, it will be very difficult for you to can even pass the exam. So it is important that we use this time to practice how to read and how to write. I want you to take heed that we can still achieve and acquire knowledge while at home. Of course, for your dream to come true, I want to remind you this time that because you want to see yourself at tertiary in the year 2021, the applications for 2021 are already open. So it is time that we should be making our own applications, either online or by posting. Let's all of us make applications, because if we don't apply anywhere, it means you won't go anywhere next year. Remember that the admission requirements at institutions are very, very high. And thus, you should strive to get a very high score, as you have planned at the beginning of the year. So do not think that because COVID-19 is here, then the requirements will be lowered. The requirements will still be there, and you will need to pass to get admissions into various universities. Believe you me today that our life during this time still has to move on. The challenges in tertiary schools, universities, colleges is even more demanding and more difficult. All our universities operate at different levels. Depending on the type of offerings they have, availability of resources, and the state of our universities. These are different because you have different management style, you have different professionals who are there, the type of staff that they have, acquired, the intake of students, and also the level of awareness. So it is important that as you apply, you need to know which institutions you go to. We have seen during this COVID-19 that some of the universities do have active online systems in place, and some have never done even a single online module. And this is a challenge that we're facing. So in brief, the current situation is that some schools or some universities do have online facilities. Some, of course, are still in their developing stages. And some cannot even do anything today. Obviously, considering the time frame and the difficulty and also the resources that are at their disposals. The online system or the online teaching has several challenges of its own. For some schools and universities, we can just reflect on few things. If it is university, we know that there are oversized classes. And if you want to do successfully online teaching, you need to have laptops, you need to have data. And how to distribute this and how to purchase this is still a problem. And the most difficult one is the network coverages. Some places have no signal. So poor signals means you cannot even attempt to do any online. Well, so this shows that the current situation is really massive, and it needs all of us to come together and find ways of reaching out to each other. And I know that in some of the universities, some don't even have database, some don't even know where their students are, some they don't even know how to reach out to the students. So by highlighting these few points, I'm trying to say that the COVID-19 lockdown has a massive impact on our educational system across South Africa. And unfortunately, this was not expected. Hence, our readiness, our model and mode of state of education as a country today is under threat. If you recall, last year there was too much talk around the issues of the fourth industrial revolution. I remember also that we had a session here at Mana where I spoke about the fourth industrial revolution, and I emphasized on becoming relevant, cautioning the arrival and the future that we are going to live under the fourth industrial revolution. So today it is critical that we upgrade ourselves in all areas of our responsibilities as a means to respond to the 4IR. The COVID-19 enforces all sectors today to be 4IR compliant through online everything. Trading, shopping, online teaching, digitization, the Internet of Things. So it's proving that it is here. So you can ask yourself that as we have been talking about this, what is it that we have done as universities, as government, to prepare ourselves so that we can respond positively to these challenges? Just to cite a simple example, today many jobs are under threat. People are threatened to lose their jobs because industries, companies are also struggling. So hence, I want to appeal to everyone that in whatever we do, we need to look up to the future and look into the technology that is coming, not only now. Today, we are receiving food at our doorsteps because we can order them. In the future, the robots might be coming to your doorsteps and give you food. And that means that other jobs will be threatened. Well, it is reality and we cannot run away from it. My dear students, South Africans, so let us wake up to the new world. Let's strive to be relevant to the ever-growing technologies so that we can respond well and make a contribution to the world we live in through our education. And while we wait, I want to encourage one and all to keep your brains awake through reading and writing. I'm emphasizing this once more. It is important that you keep yourselves active. We should not wait until the government say this is time to go to school. Because if you wait, we might suffer a setback. We might suffer failure. So it is important that we are proactive in everything we do. I can simply iterate that we are at different stages as universities. Some just started university, some are in their final year of study, some are in postgraduate levels. And those who have just started, this was their biggest dreams, but I must ensure that your dreams will come true. Just hold on. Keep studying at home. Keep working very hard. And those who in the final year, I know you were looking at the job market already. Of course, you are still going to have that opportunity after, whether during COVID-19 or not. And to those in the higher degrees, this is the right opportunity for you. The country is looking at you because you are the researchers, you are the true cream of the country. The country needs your ideas now more than before. And those who are starting, please, it is the right time to work on your problem statement and make it relevant to the challenges that we are facing today. And of course, I don't want to leave out those who wanted to graduate this year. Well, graduations are taking place and they are virtual, one of its kind. Please do not be discouraged. It is a real graduation. Having said that, I want to take this moment and talk to our parents very briefly. I want to plead to our parents to avail themselves, to assist their children, to understand the children's environment and their situation during this lockdown. Especially parents, it's time that you give your children emotional support. Don't just buy them data or give them money, but sit with them, understand the environment, understand what they're going through, because that is part of support in their learning environment. However, I don't want to to ignore the fact that affordability is still of concern. It is of concern, but let us do as much as we can so that we help our children as they go to school. And going back to my dear students, both at grades and at higher education, please, this time of lockdown, more lessons and experience have been learned. As much as you practice or exercise social distancing, I want to encourage you to even exercise social media distancing to yourselves and to your friends. Let social media platform only be an engagement for your studies and church matters. Avoid distractions, no charming each other, because those will waste your time and disturb you even more. You need to respect your time and stay focused on your school matters. I hope you understand what I mean by social media distancing. It is very, very important. My dear students, let us adhere to the regulation. Please do not get bored. Stay at home and keep active by reading. No alcohol, no cigarettes, no drugs. South Africa needs you. South Africa relies on you, and you are the future. Strive to be relevant. See any situation of COVID-19 as an opportunity to make a positive contribution. Albert Einstein says, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. You can only achieve that if you stay relevant in everything that you do. In the midst of all this, know that God is the same. He never changes. He is not shy. He is with you. In His presence, we will be victorious. Let us believe and trust in Him. Our prayers will be answered. I've shared with you this today just to give you a glimpse of what this platform can bring to us. And in the next session, I want to hear your views. I want you to share with us how the lockdown has affected you. Please send us your emails and send us your WhatsApp as it is reflected on the screen, so that in the next section we can come directly and attend to all the questions that you have and see how we can assist each other. I want us to finish and end this by our declaration. Psalm 116 verse 1. It reads, I love the Lord, for He heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Thank you very much for watching. I love you with the love of God. God bless you.